What's up, y'all? I'll be ranking the Pokemon Legends Z to A bosses from easiest to hardest. I'll get into the rules in a minute, but I do want to add that starting with this video, I'll be shaking up the way I talk about the bosses, and I'll add a ranking of how much I like them as well. It's just a bonus to the main difficulty ranking, but keep in mind this is a difficulty ranking first and foremost. With that said, let's get to the rules. I'll be counting the rogue Mega Pokemon as the bosses for this ranking. Pretty much anything with a health bar at the top of the screen is fair game, so no trainers or required wild Pokemon will be here. No legendary Pokemon. All of them are pretty strong and could ruin the challenge some of these bosses give, and I just didn't feel like using them for it. No heals via bag mid-fight. Despite their cooldowns in fight, you could just put your Pokemon back into their ball and stall until you heal them, so no healing at all other than attacks that heal. No broken strats, like using Trick or Treat Gourgeist and spamming Rage Fist with Annihilate. It removes a lot of challenge and can be used to do massive damage. No shame to those who do it, I understand why you do, especially to get Hyper Berries. I just didn't want to do it for the ranking. As this is a Pokemon game, by nature this list is very subjective, other than the bottom spot hopefully, so feel free to let me know of your own opinions. If you're curious, my team was Mega Charizard Y, Mega Greninja, Mega Sceptile, Mega Gengar, Mega Gallade, and Mega Excadrill. There are a lot of spoilers here. This is a boss ranking after all, so take whatever cautions you may wish. But with all of the rules listed, let's get to ranking some bosses. Number 28, Mega Absol. I don't really need to say too much about its difficulty. It's the tutorial boss after all. You're given a very controlled environment with Mega Lucario the first time you fight it, so you learn how these fights work. Mega Absol only has 3 attacks. Slash as a close range move, which shouldn't be too threatening to your Pokemon as you're hitting back a bit and letting your Pokemon fight. Air Slash to give it some range, which can be moved or dodged away from easily. And its Charge Attack, which doesn't do much more than just telling you to back off for the moment. When it gets to half health, its Charge Attack just gets bigger, but regardless it's pretty easy to dodge. As for quality's sake, it does fine enough as a tutorial boss, which bumped it up higher in that regard, but other than that the boss is pretty boring. Regardless, it's the clear bottom spot, so I'll get to the rest of the list. Everyone else's placement shouldn't be this obvious. Number 27, Mega Victreebel. Mega Victreebel is unable to move, so it'll always be in the center of the arena. Moves like Sand Tomb and Fire Spin, which deal damage over time, can be effective here. Fire Spin in particular being great. It has Bullet Seed as a ranged option, and it has slight homing properties to keep you moving for a bit. It can fire at least 3 and at most 9. But the way to dodge it remains consistent. It has Vine Whip as a melee option, but because it can't move if you stay back far enough, it won't be able to hit you with it, and there's no reason to get close to it. Its Charge Attack will have Mega Victreebel vomit poison out of its mouth across the arena, becoming puddles when they hit the ground. The poison will do damage over time to you and your Pokemon if you stand in it, potentially poisoning anything but steel and poison types. Dodge the initial poison projectiles, and be a bit mindful of your positioning while the puddles are up, but they go away after some time. At half health, the Charge Attack has more poison. It's reasonable enough to put your Pokemon back in their ball if you have to, but it shouldn't be needed. Mega Victreebel isn't a bad boss, no boss in this game is, but Mega Victreebel just standing there only gives it 2 relevant attacks, with one of them only showing up every now and then, making it pretty boring. As for difficulty, while I put it above Absol for its Charge Attack lingering and making you careful with positioning, since it can't move at all, I think there's an argument for Mega Absol to be harder. It's not one I agree with, but one I can understand. Number 26, Mega Slowbro. Slowbro kinda lives up to its name here, as it won't move around too much, but this is common with the early bosses. Psybeam gives it an attack with moderate range that's fast enough to catch unfamiliar players off guard, but a roll more than suffices in dodging it. Water Pulse can follow you to an extent, making you have to move for a bit, with the minor risk of confusing your Pokemon and potentially hitting them a few times. In Slowbro's Charge Attack summons 6 Water Cyclones that slowly go outward, doing this twice for a total of 12 Cyclones. When Slowbro gets to half health, Slowbro summons 8 the first and fourth time, while summoning 6 the second and third time, for a total of 28 Cyclones. Regardless of health, the Cyclones are slow, making them easy to dodge, but you do have to be careful when using Pokemon with attacks that have to be close to Slowbro, and you can take a risk by attacking Slowbro during the charge attack to take it down faster, being best with any Pokemon with projectile attacks. It adds a nice challenge that way, bumping it up in the quality ranking by a bit. It's a step up from Mega Absol in terms of difficulty, but a minor one nonetheless. Number 25, Mega Camerupt. As Mega Camerupt is an early boss, it has a simple melee attack with Headbutt that you can roll away from, but it does have an interesting ranged option in Earth Power, which is summoned right below you and your Pokemon, forcing you to move, although it's slow enough to not be too worrying. It can also shoot boulders from its top that land on the ground, which you can destroy or leave for later. I'd recommend destroying the ones closest to you if it's safe to do so, because of Camerupt's charge attack, which has Camerupt explode to make a flame dome around its body, sending a non-damaging heat wave to have any remaining boulders explode in the process. It can be a bit harder to dodge if you destroy none of them, and the explosions can be dangerous, mostly due to the potential burn, not only putting your non-fire type Pokemon on a timer, but also because burn will half the physical attack Pokemon have. Thankfully, it ultimately isn't too bad if you remove some boulders before the charge attack started. At half health, Camerupt summons more boulders and its flame dome becomes bigger when exploding, but what I said about it earlier remains unchanged. Camerupt's a cool fight, with direct attacks to keep you moving and boulders to potentially keep you busy or take some risks to end it quicker, which helps it in quality somewhat, but it helps in difficulty minimally as well. Number 24, Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile has Iron Head and Crunch as attacks to hit you with up close. Iron Head has a chance of flinching Pokemon that get hit by it, while Crunch provides Psychic and Ghost coverage. Keep your distance from these if possible, otherwise run away as soon as you see the startup. It also has Play Rough, a melee attack that will have to use your teleport to its target. You don't have as much time to get out of Play Rough's range, but you have enough time to do so regardless. Its charge attack will have Mega Mawile leave the arena completely, so it can't be damaged for the duration of this attack. Mega Mawile will then fire a bunch of Fairy type projectiles in 5 bursts, starting from one side of the arena and ending with the other side. There are some different ways to dodge this, but I stayed to the latter side until the second burst, and then go back to the former side as the third burst hits the middle of the arena. Make sure to call your Pokemon back to their ball as well. At half health, its charge attack will also fire pink projectiles that follow you, 2 for each burst. This doesn't affect how you deal with this attack too much. You can dodge into them to make them explode without taking any damage if you really don't want to deal with them, but since there's so many projectiles during the charge attack at half health, you may take a hit or two. Mega Mawile also gains access to Sword Dance to make Iron Head, Play Rough, and Crunch more threatening. This boss isn't too bad in difficulty as it doesn't have any regular range attacks, and the charge attack isn't anything to stress about once you get the way to dodge it down. But it's a fun boss, I like it. Number 23, Mega Starmie. Mega Starmie has Zen Headbutt as a melee attack that can be dodged by keeping your distance. Water Pulse fires water rings that follow you slowly, but only go straight so running away avoids it, and Aqua Jet as a direct attack. Watch for the shadow and stay away. Mega Starmie's charge attack will have it bolt at you very quickly. It's fast, which can catch you off guard, and it does fatal damage, but it can't be dodged by rolling left or right from it. At half health, it gains access to Bulk Up, increasing its physical attack and defense, making it harder to kill while powering up Zen Headbutt and Aqua Jet. But its charge attack gets some interesting changes. Starmie will now walk around the arena, stop, and fire a Hydro Pump right at you, and repeat this doing it 6 times in total. The Hydro Pump is easy enough to dodge, just roll left or right away from it, but it hurts if it hits, especially for your Pokemon, so put them in the ball when possible. The rushes at you become faster as well, and it'll rush at you several times. The fight's pretty fun when it gets going, as you need to respect the attacks of the half health phase and they're fast, but it's too little too late for difficulty. Number 22, Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill has Poison Jab as a melee option that has a chance of poisoning your non-steel and poison-type Pokemon, putting them on a timer like Burn can. However, the startup is long, so you'll have time to move out of the way. It can also use Lunge for another melee attack, but it'll have Beedrill disappear and reappear right in front of you before attacking. You have enough time to get away from it, but it can catch you off guard, and if you were locked onto Mega Beedrill, that lock-on is removed. It can also summon Kakunas as distractions. They're weak enough so that you shouldn't have to worry about them really. Harden does nothing to help them, String Shot does no damage to you and is easy for your Pokemon to dodge, and Poison Sting is the only one that'll actually be relevant, being able to damage you and having a chance to poison your non-steel and poison types. I'd recommend running an AoE move like Earthquake or something similar to take care of a lot of them quickly if needed. Its charge attack will have Beedrill go to the center of the arena above the ground and fire numerous pin missiles at you. To dodge it, start and keep sprinting until the attack is over, and call your Pokemon back to their ball if needed, but don't try to make them attack while it's going on as it can leave you getting hit by a missile. At half health, Mega Beedrill can start spawning regular Beedrills. Like the Kakunas, they're minimal threats, but they have Pin Missile as an additional ranged option to keep you moving. Any AoE moves are best to get rid of them. Mega Beedrill's charge attack fires more Pin Missiles as well, but the way to dodge it is unchanged. Even though this boss isn't too much harder than those before it, it remains pretty fun due to the other Pokemon it can spawn, and it makes sure you're familiar with running and dodging. Number 21, Mega Ampharos. Mega Ampharos has Breaking Swipe for a melee option you can roll away or just keep your distance from, and Dragon Pulse is pretty much the same as Mega Slowbro's Water Pulse without the confusion, so just walk or run away from it. It can also use Charge to increase its special defense. Its charge attack will have Ampharos create an electrical dome around itself and have bolts shoot out, which make electrical hazards that land on the ground and linger for a while. I recommend backing away for the moment as your non-electric types can get paralyzed, which makes them generally slower. The hazards can do this too, but you can just walk around them. When the charge attack is used again, the electrical hazards will be struck by thunderbolts that explode the hazards and will have 4 bolts travel along the ground for each hazard. Thunderbolts will also strike you directly while this is going on to keep you moving, so you'll have to be moving a lot here. At half health, its initial charge attack will have it create more electrical hazards on the ground, and as such the other charge attack has more bolts along the ground to deal with. While this fight isn't that difficult, you'll be kept busy due to everything going on, and you can be punished heavily if you mess up, due to damage or the threat of paralysis. And it helps the quality too. Number 20, Mega Bayonet. Mega Bayonet will create clones of itself whenever it gets the chance with Double Team, creating 2 clones. The way to tell the real one is that the fakes will have a health bar above them, while the real one won't. I recommend taking out at least one clone because of its other attacks. The real and clone Mega Bayonets can use Shadow Ball as the primary ranged option, which you'll have to maneuver around. They can use Shadow Sneak to keep you moving as its direct attack. Confuse Ray, while doing minimal damage to you, can confuse your Pokemon, and Phantom Force to reposition if needed and make them invulnerable for a bit, potentially dodging attacks. The real Mega Bayonet can also use Phantom Force if all of the clones are dead to go to the arena center and use Double Team again. And all of the clones disappear if Mega Bayonet is staggered. All of these can be pretty stressful to dodge if all the clones are up, so make sure you take them out if it's reasonable to do so. Mega Bayonet's charge attack will have Bayonet teleport to you and use Shadow Claw to slash you. If any of the clones are still alive, the clones will use Shadow Claw before the real Mega Bayonet. It's not a big deal if it's just a real Mega Bayonet, but with the clones in mind it can be a bit difficult. At half health, Bayonet can create 4 clones, adding more to the chaos and making its other attacks harder to deal with, but that's it. This fight's really fun. The clones create a lot more mayhem and a challenge of controlling the chaos by taking the clones out and making the fight slower, or focusing on the real one making the fight faster and more difficult. It has melee, ranged, and direct attacks that you can use while making it interesting with the clones as they can use different attacks. It's a bit harder than everything we've seen so far due to everything going on, but it ultimately isn't too bad. Number 19, Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria has Dragon Pulse and Moon Blast as range attacks that can follow you to an extent, so make sure that you and your Pokemon keep their distance. But it can only use Dragon Pulse while grounded, and Moon Blast when airborne. which is Mega Altaria's special gimmick. When it's airborne, some melee attacks aren't capable of hitting it, so make sure your Pokemon have some ranged options. Its charge attack can only be used when Mega Altaria is airborne, which has it summon a massive tornado that follows you slowly, with smaller tornadoes being sent out one at a time being much more direct in trying to hit you, which all dissipate after enough time. You don't need to worry about the big tornado too much, but the small tornadoes can be a bit tricky due to their speed. At half health, its charge attack will have the big tornado be faster, and the smaller tornadoes are summoned twice at a time, which makes it harder to deal with. It also gains access to Brave Bird when grounded, a quick melee attack that can hit pretty hard and be used to reposition itself. Like with Dragon Pulse and Moon Blast, keeping your distance is the best way to dodge it. This fight's nothing too unique in regards to quality. Being able to go airborne is interesting, but can be annoying for Pokemon that heavily rely on their melee attacks, and it having a lack of melee until half health can make going up close a good strategy, if Mega Altaria aggro's on you while your Pokemon hits them with hopefully ranged moves. But it still has enough going for it with difficulty and quality, ultimately being an alright fight. Number 18, Mega Frostlass. Mega Frostlass has Icy Wind, summoning cold tornadoes as a direct attack to keep you moving, slowing down your Pokemon if they get hit by them. It has Phantom Force to reposition, make sure to move away from the shadows, Shadow Ball as a ranged attack that you'll have to move away from, and a way to burn your non-fire-type Pokemon with Will-O-Wisp. Despite it being slow, burn is very threatening, so you can take it instead of your Pokemon if you absolutely have to, but its slow speed limits it from being the biggest deal. Its charge attack will have giant icicles drop down from above, one at a time, which you should tilt your camera upward or watch the shadows to keep track of, and put your Pokemon in their ball for the time being. After this, 3 icicles will stick around, and you'll have to get behind them to dodge Mega Frostlass's Blizzard, which will hit everything not behind the icicles. It's not too hard to dodge, but pretty punishing if you don't. At half health, Icy Wind summons several tornadoes, making it harder to dodge and riskier for your Pokemon to deal with, and the charge attack drops down 2 icicles at a time. The fight's good. While there aren't any melee attacks defending you up close, there's enough ranged and direct attacks for it to be interesting, and its charge attack is fun to deal with, but ultimately not too bad to dodge. The threat of burn alone bumped it up a bit in terms of difficulty. Number 17, Mega Hawlucha. Mega Hawlucha has the same Air Slash Mega Absol had as a ranged option, but faster, so just move or dodge away from it. Aerial Ace and Brick Break are both pretty quick, but Hawlucha does need to get close to you to use them, so keep your distance if needed. Its charge attack will have Hawlucha charge up for a while, with a special gold charge to make it extra important, and you're able to interrupt this, done easy as with plus moves. If Hawlucha isn't interrupted, Hawlucha flies up into the sky and crashes into the center of the arena, hitting everything in it and doing fatal damage to you if you get hit by it. If it is interrupted, which will have Hawlucha be staggered for a bit and drop Mega Power, Hawlucha will still fly up to the sky, but it'll crash where you currently are and its area of effect is moderate at best, so keep your distance until it crashes down. The uninterrupted version could be avoided by dodging it at the right time, but this can be a bit inconsistent, so Mega Evolve for iframes instead if you really have to. At half health, its interrupted charge attack has a larger area of effect. It's a bit harder to interrupt, and Mega Hawlucha itself becomes way more aggressive. You're bound to see it use Brick Break here if it hasn't already. As for difficulty, it still isn't too bad, and having to deal with a different type of charge attack is fun and all, but having to deal with an arena-wide attack that can almost one-shot you if you don't interrupt it can feel frustrating, even if you know the ways to get around it. The fight is fun enough without the charge attack, as Mega Hawlucha can hit you at close and far ranges, but the charge attack does bring it down in terms of quality, but it helps in difficulty, so there's that, I guess. Number 16, Mega Absol Z. Mega Absol Z has knockoff for a melee attack. Don't worry, it doesn't remove items, but it's fast. Snarl has moderate range and lower special attack for any Pokemon hit by it, and Shadow Sneak is a direct attack that you need to move away from. You'll have time to since it's slow. For knockoff and Snarl, keep your distance if possible. For its charge attack, Absol goes to the center of the arena and will fire dark waves at you, one at a time in a total of 6. just run away for the move's entirety. You'll never be in danger if you do that. At half health, Absol fires 3 waves at a time that spread out 6 times for a total of 18, with some of them sometimes spreading out more to catch you off guard. Again, just run away, and if any of them hit you as you're running, just roll. I recommend putting your Pokemon in their ball for sure because there's more projectiles. This fight's a good improvement in terms of difficulty and quality, although for difficulty it's not by that much. Number 15, Mega Tatsugiri. Mega Tatsugiri has Waterfall as a melee attack with the bonus of repositioning itself. Keep your distance. It has Ice Beam as a ranged attack, Roll or Move Away, and Dragon Rush as a direct attack. Move away from the shadow. Tatsugiri's charge attack will have it fly in the air as it moves around the arena and fires Sakemaki at you. The Sakemaki will follow you to an extent, but it's slightly homing at best. It does this in bursts of 6-7 times. It's not too difficult to dodge by itself. Run away from the Sakemaki and roll away if needed. At half health, it'll fire 5 bursts of a lot of Sakemaki. Run of course, but rolling is more mandatory here than the first phase's version. When it's flying up in the air, you can't hit it. This fight is unique. It can back up its spot here enough, but just falls short of the top half of the list. Quality-wise, its attacks are fine, but during its charge attack it's invulnerable for a while, which can be annoying after enough time, bumping it down a bit. Number 14, Mega Barbarical. Mega Barbarical has Rock Slide as a direct attack to keep you moving, and Power Up Punch as a melee attack you need to move or roll away from. If you or your Pokemon get hit by it, Barbarical's physical attack increases. The punch itself is quick, but it has enough startup to make it easy to dodge. It can also summon Binacle as a distraction. They have Slash as a melee option that you can move away from, and Water Gun as a ranged option that you can do the same thing against. Run AoE moves to take a bunch of them out quickly. Mega Barbarical's charge attack will have it charge up with a gold aura like Hawlucha, so you need to interrupt this attack or you're in trouble. The uninterrupted version has Barbarical teleport right next to you and do a punch barrage that lasts for about 5 seconds, which is followed up by a massive beam being fired at you. The beam isn't too hard to avoid, you just need to run away or dodge it, but it's fast, hits hard, it can catch you off guard. If it's interrupted, Barbarical will be staggered for a bit and drop some Mega Power, and it'll still do the teleport and punch barrage, but not the beam right after. Regardless of if you interrupt it or not, the punch barrage will likely hit you at least once, and I'd recommend switching out any Pokemon that are even neutral to fighting type moves here. At half health, Mega Barbarical is able to summon more Binacle, and they gain access to Bulldoze, an AoE move. Although it doesn't have too much range, it makes them more threatening and encourages you to stay away from them even more than they already did. Mega Barbarical also gains access to Waterfall. Waterfall will have Barbarical dash towards you on a water wave, doing damage to anything it touches in the process. However, Barbarical moves slowly on this water wave, so you can just run away to avoid it. This fight's awesome! Barbarical keeps you busy with direct attacks, it shares the summoning Pokemon aspect I liked about Beedrill which boosts its quality, with the Binacle being minor albeit present threats. Waterfall gives it coverage, and it has a charge attack that's very threatening, but unlike Hawlucha's charge attack, it's not an almost one-shot attack in one hit and doesn't become irrelevant even if you interrupt it. It's a really fun boss, and one of my favorites in this game. Number 13, Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur has Bullet Seed as a ranged option that can follow you to an extent. It can fire 3 to 9 of these. While you will have to keep moving, the seeds travel straight, so just run away. It also has Power Whip for a melee attack. Stay away if possible, but you have enough time to dodge away, so do that if needed. Mega Venusaur can fire seeds into the air that become brambles on the ground. Not only are they obstacles that can get in your way, Mega Venusaur can charge and use Leech Seed as one of 2 charge attacks, destroying the brambles to gain small amounts of health back, and being an arena-wide attack, doing minor damage to you but potentially fatal damage to your Pokemon if a lot of the brambles are still around, the damage dealt to your Pokemon being based on how many brambles are left. Destroy the brambles if you can, but make sure your Pokemon is in their ball when Leech Seed is used. It will then use Solar Beam as its overcharge attack, which fires a beam right at you. It does fatal damage if it hits you, but all you have to do is move away from it. At half health, Venusaur spawns more brambles leading to more Leech Seed damage if your Pokemon stay in, and Solar Beam will now move towards you as well, albeit as fast as basic walking, so running and dodging are still recommended. It also gains access to Sludge Wave, an AoE attack that can poison your non-poison and steel type Pokemon. I'm a very big fan. There's every type of attack in the book other than direct attacks. And the Brambles give a unique challenge with the attack being harder to deal with if you avoid them, like how Camera Up did with the boulders. So I can't say it's the best fight in the game, but it's definitely up there. Number 12, Mega Staraptor. Mega Staraptor has Focus Blast as a ranged attack that follows you. Similar to Moon Blast, it's slow, so move away from it until it disappears. It has Dual Wind Beat as a melee attack that hits twice, but the startup between each hit, while not slow, is forgiving enough for you to run out of the way. But it's deadly if you or your Pokemon get hit by it. Double Edge is another melee attack that Staraptor can use to reposition itself, and it hits pretty hard too, so make sure to stay far away. Staraptor's charge attack will have it appear behind you 6 times, with enough range that you can't just run away. You don't need to do too much here, just roll before each kick, but each kick is fast enough for you to potentially slip up. At half health, the charge attack becomes faster. The previous method still works, but with tighter timing. This fight's fun, and Staraptor's aggressiveness makes it difficult enough to be up here, but just having a faster charge attack in phase 2 can only do so much for it difficulty wise. Number 11, Mega Meowstic. Mega Meowstic uses Teleport to reposition itself, which can dodge some moves if Meowstic goes far enough. It has Shadow Ball and Moonblast for ranged moves. You've already seen these, so you know what to do here. Psybeam is also here, and unlike Mega Slowbro, it has enough range to where some of the beam can leave the arena. Roll away if it's targeting you, and be careful with your Pokemon's positioning. It can also use Reflect and Light Screen to decrease the power of your Pokemon's physical and special moves respectively for some time. You can work around it with moves like Brick Break, but otherwise switch your attackers depending on which one is currently set up. Just accept it if both are set up. Its charge attack will have Meowstic push everything back and set a barrier around itself. It'll charge up energy while you need to destroy one of the walls, which is telegraphed by a blinking tile. It takes about 2 to 3 plus moves to destroy them, so you better have your Pokemon be Mega Evolved or have some Mega Power on standby. After the wall is broken, go to Meowstic and wail on it. After enough time, the whole outside of the arena will explode, doing fatal damage to you and your Pokemon, but the explosions are easy to roll through. If you manage to lock off the wall, it can be hard to lock back on after the first hit. So hold the lock on button down. At half health, the charge attack becomes harder to break through. I don't know if the charge attack is faster, but if it is, it's minimal. It can also go up in the air for a bit, which makes its Moonblast bigger, and Shadow Balls are summoned in bursts of 3. Unlike Mega Altaria, it doesn't go high enough to dodge some attacks, but some might be harder to hit it with. Mega Meowstic is a very interesting fight with all of the barriers, and the potential lock-on issues help in the difficulty department. Number 10, Mega Tyranitar. Mega Tyranitar has Rock Slide as a direct attack, so move if the shadows above you or your Pokemon. It also has Crunch as a melee attack, so keep your distance and move away if necessary. Tyranitar starts up its charge attack by using Sand Tomb, summoning 3 Sandy Twisters in the arena that do damage over time. They'll linger for a bit, so keep them in mind when positioning. Tyranitar then will use its charge attack, Stone Edge, which sends huge stones towards you in straight lines, doing this 5 times. The stones have enough startup to where you can easily dodge them, but you may want to put your Pokemon in their ball just in case. And again, keep the Sand Tombs in mind. At half health, Stone Edge will send numerous Stone Spires in the arena, so you'll have to go between some. After the first use, the other use sends Stone Spires to cover up the initial safe spots, and it again does this 5 times, and again it does this 5 times. While the timing isn't too strict, do make sure to get to the safe spots quickly. When it uses Sand Tomb, it summons 4 Sand Twisters this time, and then uses its other charge attack, Earthquake, a massive AoE attack that can hit most of the arena. Get as far away as possible while avoiding the Sand Tombs. Tyranitar also gains access to Outrage, a melee move that does heavy damage to anything hit by it, so make sure to run away as soon as it starts. And Giga Impact, a direct move that does big damage and has AoE right in front of Tyranitar. After Giga Impact is used, Tyranitar will be stunned for a bit. Roll away from Tyranitar immediately before the move comes out to dodge it. This fight's a good amount harder than the ones below it on the list, as it has attacks of different types and they're all scary, but having no ranged attacks outside of charge moves does hold it back a bit, but not in terms of how much I like the fight personally. Number 9, Mega Heatran. Mega Heatran, like Mega Victory Bell, cannot move, so damage over time moves are effective here, especially Sand Tomb and Whirlpool. It has Flash Cannon as a standard range attack, with slight homing properties, but the speed really makes this more prominent. It's nothing you can't dodge by just running, but still, Magma Storm will cause 2 Magma Tornadoes to appear that quickly disappear after. They'll reappear in different spots, 4 more times for a total of 10 tornadoes. You shouldn't be worried about getting hit by them as they don't take up too much space, but do move around a bit just in case, as they do damage over time and have the chance to burn your non-fire types. Bulldoze is a big AoE attack, but stay far enough away and you'll be fine. Its charge attack will have Heatran spawn 3 Magma Tornadoes, and then fire a massive beam of magma. It'll follow you for the duration it's active, being as fast as your running speed. Run for its duration while dodging the tornadoes if needed, but you can ignore them if you stay near the walls while running. At half health, Flash Cannon slightly bigger, Magma Storm spawns 3 tornadoes at a time for a new total of 15, do the same stuff but be a bit more careful. Bulldoze is slightly bigger, but the charge attack not only has bigger Magma Tornadoes, but boulders are summoned as well, exploding when the Magma Beam gets near them. Not much changes in terms of dodging it, but use rolls if necessary. While Mega Heatran still suffers from being unable to reposition itself, bumping it down in difficulty, unlike Mega Victory Bell, it has actual attacks so your Pokemon can't wail on it with no risk, and it's actually fun to fight. Number 8, Mega Dragonite. Mega Dragonite has Outrage for a melee attack. Like before, stay away at all costs. It has Air Slash and Flamethrower as ranged options. Both of them you can dodge by moving away from Dragonite, but Flamethrower gives it ice coverage and the threat of burn, so make sure your Pokemon avoid it if possible. Its charge attack will have Dragonite build up energy, creating a giant tornado that follows you, while Lightning Bolts strike the arena for its duration. Call your Pokemon back into their ball, and run away from the tornado while avoiding the lightning. At half health, Dragonite gets access to Dragon Rush, a direct attack that you have to move away from as soon as Dragonite's shadow is over you, and its charge attack will still have a tornado follow you, but then Dragonite charges up in a golden aura akin to how Lucha and Barbarical. The uninterrupted version will have Dragonite leave the arena and use Hyper Beam, which is an unavoidable arena-wide attack that does fatal damage. I can't find a timing to dodge it when rolling, so the only way to iframe through it is through Mega Evolution. If interrupted though, Dragonite will be staggered for a bit and drop Mega Power, and then leave the arena, firing several smaller hyper beams at you. They don't hit as hard as the uninterrupted version, but avoid them regardless. This fight's really challenging, and in my opinion the hardest of the main story until you get to the final boss. It has the threat of burn, all 3 types of attacks to keep you busy, and a charge attack that's challenging to deal with considering both variants, and the second phases version has an actually unavoidable attack unless you use Mega Evolution that you need to interrupt, which elevates it in difficulty, but in quality not so much, as it feels really bad getting hit by it, and considering you need to keep your Pokemon safe from the tornado, this fight can be pretty rough. Number 7, Hyperrogue Ange Floette. This fight will have red and blue flowers you need to take out in order for the fight to progress. There are also 2 walls you can hide behind. Well, 3 I guess, but you'll mostly be hidden around these 2. The flowers can fire purple shots. These aren't hard to dodge by themselves, but make sure your Pokemon are behind the wall. The blue flower will surround itself with energy, and the red flower slams the ground near itself. So be careful with any melee attackers, but don't worry too much about your ranged or direct attackers here. The first phase can be dealt with easily thanks to the walls. After the flowers are taken out, which eliminates small amounts of health, you can use one of Zygarde's moves to do big damage to it, and this advances the fight to the next phase. At the start of the second phase, and every minute or so, Ange will have the flowers retreat and fire Light of Ruin, which will have Zygarde create a barrier to protect you, which will have Zygarde come down and create a barrier to protect you, making you have to get under Zygarde. It's easy to dodge, as you'll have a lot of time to get ready for a lot of ruin, but it is an insta-kill, and the only one out of any boss in this game. The red flower can start firing beams, which you can dodge by rolling, but to keep your Pokemon safe, call them back to their ball or have them hide behind a wall. The blue flower will create a purple mist that does damage over time, and it'll linger for a bit, so stay away for its duration. In the third phase, the blue flower can start firing beams as well. It can put the purple mist around itself, and they both gain a new attack. They'll summon lightning that'll strike at your position shortly after. Roll away and always be on the move. This fight is very fun. The music certainly helps with that, but the walls make the first phase too cheesable, and the other two phases can only do so much to bandage that issue. Pokemon with range attacks are recommended here, as both flowers have attacks that can hit your melee attackers. The wall problem isn't made much better since you'll be staying back anyway, so why not near the walls? Any moves that give HP back to the user after use are also good here, like Recover and Synthesis, but especially Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, and other moves like that I'm sure I'm forgetting, as the flowers have a lot of health, in the thousands, but really low physical and special defense. Regardless of being able to cheese it through walls or certain moves, it's not a big deal in terms of my enjoyment of this fight, but it is a big deal in difficulty unfortunately. Number 6, Mega Zeraora. Mega Zeraora has Power Up Punch for a melee attack that increases its physical attack when it hits something. It can use Brick Break and Dynamic Punch as other melee attacks. They have more range than Power Up Punch, with Brick Break destroying light screens and Reflex if you had any set up, but all 3 of its fighting type moves can be dodged by just staying away from it. It has Wild Charge to reposition. It's fast, so your Pokemon can struggle dodging it, but you yourself can just roll away. It can also fire out Electro Webs, which linger on the ground for a bit, threatening paralysis on non-electric type Pokemon, and doing damage over time to you and your Pokemon. The web on its own isn't too big, so it can be dodged easily, as only one is fired at a time in the first phase. Its charge attack will have Zeraora go to the center of the arena and slam its fists, releasing several plasma sparks across the arena. Doing this 5 times. Like Mega Tyranitar, the next use covers up the safe spots of the previous use. At half health, the charge attack sparks will start going in zigzags, getting bigger for each time they zig and zag, but after the first use, Zeraora goes to the edges of the arena, slams down and fires a single spark that zigzags across the whole arena, getting bigger for every wall it touches, doing this for 3 uses. For the final use, it goes back to the center and fires the multiple sparks again. The sparks can be dodged by rolling, but their damage is fatal, so make sure you do. It fires 5 Electro Webs now, making the attack more threatening and more relevant, with another potential risk of being included into the upgraded charge attack. Zeraora will also start teleporting, which can make some moves miss if timed wrong. Mega Zeraora is a fun fight, not a particular standout for me, but I like it. It's pretty challenging, with the constant threat of paralysis and numerous melee attacks helping a lot. I would have liked to see Mewtwo and Diancie get this treatment though, instead of just being beefed up wild Pokemon. Especially Mewtwo if they can make it switch forms. Number 5, Zygarde. Zygarde's first phase will have it go near the walls of the arena and use 1,000 arrows, which will have a bunch of arrows rain down from the sky in the direction it's facing. 1,000 arrows can hit flying type Pokemon without them taking heavily reduced damage from it. These arrows are quick, but move away once the move starts up and you'll be fine. Zygarde can follow you too while doing this, but the way to dodge it is unchanged. It also has Crunch as a melee attack. If your Pokemon gets close to it, you and your Pokemon can keep your distance for that, in extreme speed. You can simply roll out of the way if Zygarde targets you with it, but your Pokemon will most likely get hit by it. They can dodge it, but you'll have to be on the move the entire time. The first phase, while having a scary attack or two, goes down quickly, especially if you have Ice-type Pokemon. The second phase will have Zygarde go into its 50% form, and like Mega Victory Bell and Mega Heatran, it'll never move from the center of the arena. It has Dragon Pulse for a range attack and Rock Slide for a direct attack. For both of them, you'll have to move away from the Shadow for Rock Slide, and move left or right for a bit to dodge the projectiles of Dragon Pulse. Your Pokemon can dodge them easily enough, but of course be careful. Zygarde has Crunch too if you or your Pokemon get close to it. Just avoid using melee attacks or limit their usage and you're fine. This phase also has a charge attack in Land's Wrath, which will have the ground below your feet explode. The explosion itself being somewhat big. There will be 5 explosions, one at a time. Put your Pokemon in their ball and just run throughout its duration. You shouldn't have to roll, but do so if it helps. As Zygarde doesn't move in this phase, damage over time moves like Whirlpool and Sand Tomb can be effective here. The second phase also isn't too bad, which is helped by never moving, but it's a bit tankier and has a charge attack to make it harder than the first phase. The third and final phase has Zygarde go into its complete form, and its legs are no longer broken, so it'll be moving around, but it aura farms by walking slowly. Thousand Arrows is now a direct attack, but how it works is unchanged, so run away when you see Zygarde use it. It has Thousand Waves, which is used if you're close. It's an AoE attack that is very evil. If your Pokemon gets hit by it, they are unable to go back to their ball for about 30 seconds. The switch locking can be very dangerous. While it sucks regardless for you to be unable to keep them alive for longer, it can be very bad if Zygarde is about to use a charge attack, so I'd recommend playing it safe if needed before Thousand Waves goes off. Speaking of those, Land's Wrath is now an arena-wide attack. The explosions will start from going to the walls, to the middle, and then near Zygarde, and then do this again. There will be 6 of these, so the outer, middle, and inner circles of the arena will deal with 2 of these. Put your Pokemon in their ball unless they got hit with Thousand Waves. If they did go to the outer circles immediately, they'll still take some not fun damage, but it probably shouldn't kill them unless they're weak to ground. You yourself won't be in too much danger if you find these safe spots near the walls of the arena, but you might get hit trying to get to them, and it'll hurt. Its new charge attack will have Zygarde go out of the arena and use Core Enforcer, which will have Zygarde create a giant Z with a laser. The ground will then erupt, the safe spots being telegraphed by not having green eruptions. After a bit, the Z in the green ground will then explode. The Z in the green ground will then explode, ending the charge attack. The laser while the Z is being created does fatal damage to you and hurts your Pokemon a lot, if not outright killing them. Same with the explosion. If your Pokemon got hit by Thousand Waves and is locked from switching during the attack, go to the safe spots in advance if you know where they are. Your Pokemon can dodge the attack this way, but you'll have to be very careful. All 3 phases can be stunned if they take enough damage within a short time, giving you time to wail on them or set your Pokemon up for later. This boss is a 3-phase gauntlet and an endurance test, which is a common theme for the rest of the bosses here. It can only be so high up due to the first and second phases going down relatively quickly and having mostly easy attacks to avoid. I initially thought my 0 deaths and 5 faints attempt was lucky, so I tried again to see if it was consistent, and to my horror, it was. The only reason why it's not in challenging is because of the third phase mostly, and I mean, come on, of course it'd be here. Quality-wise, it was so close to being peak, but the second phase not moving and having easy to dodge attacks besides a charge attack brought it down enough to being awesome. But regardless, it's a great fight. Number 4, Kyogre. Kyogre has Surf, a melee attack that'll have Kyogre travel a short distance from where it started. The hitbox of the move is pretty big, but not big enough to where your Pokemon shouldn't be safe with most ranged moves. It's also slow, so you can run away from it. It has Thunder for water and flying coverage, which will strike 4 Thunderbolts at you, one at a time, and Ice Beam, which gives grass and dragon coverage. It's a very quick beam that can threaten freezing any of your non-ice types. While freezing doesn't happen often, your frozen Pokemon will be sitting ducks until they thaw out after enough time, so dodge it and pray they don't get frozen. The first phase isn't too bad, but Kyogre has enough coverage for it to be interesting, and scary if you have any types Kyogre is weak to. When Kyogre goes under Primal Reversion, it becomes a lot bigger and immune to fire-type moves. Not that you were using them anyway, but still, figured I'd mention it. All of its moves from the first phase are bigger, Surf and Thunder in particular. Thunder will have numerous Thunderbolts strike down in 4 bursts, one of them making melee attacks risky to use, so be cautious while this attack is going on. Its charge attack will have Kyogre go to the center of the arena and use Origin Pulse. The move starts by firing several pulses, which go one direction before quickly shooting to the other. It'll go in opposite directions after the first use, and it does this 3 times in total. Your Pokemon will be hit here no matter what, so keep them in their ball. This is pretty difficult to dodge, and the fatal damage it does certainly doesn't help. Make sure to watch which direction it's going in initially, and run to the other direction before it shoots there. This fight has some pretty big attacks. Kyogre's water-type moves are the most obvious example, but most of them aren't that bad. The length of the fight just makes it easy to slip up. It's another really good one though, as per usual with this game. Number 3, Groudon. Groudon can use Fire Blast, which travels straight and dissipates after going to moderate range, exploding when it dissipates. The projectile itself isn't too fast for you to have trouble dodging it, but your Pokemon might, and the threat of burn doesn't help. It has Scorching Sands, acting like Mega Venusaur's Solar Beam at half health, with Groudon following you for a bit until the move ends. It does damage over time to those who stay in it, and on top of that it has the threat of burn, so just run away. Groudon has Solar Beam for water and ground coverage. It's pretty much identical to Mega Venusaur's Solar Beam at half health, following you and doing damage over time to those who stay in it, but unlike Venusaur, it doesn't do fatal damage. This first phase is pretty simple, being just range attacks, but the threat of burn keeps it tense. In the second phase, Groudon goes under Primal Reversion, becoming Primal Groudon. There's a few new things that happen, but the main change is that Desolate Land comes into play, making it completely immune to all water moves unless stunned. The fire type changes some of its resistances into neutralities and weaknesses to neutralities, like rock and grass. It also becomes a lot bigger, so it'll be an easier target to hit. Like Kyogre, all of its moves from the first phase are bigger, so dodging them is more important. Its charge attack will have Groudon go to the center of the arena, shake the ground, with the dangerous spots starting to erupt with lava. The safe spots not having this. When they actually erupt, a precipice blade comes out of them. The safe spots will move next to the previous safe spots, so you just have to move to them. You might take some damage though, as the erupting ground will do damage. Not much, but it still matters. And the blades don't do fatal damage, but still hurt a lot. Make sure your Pokemon are in their ball. This boss is difficult, but Groudon having no melee attacks does lower its difficulty by a bit. However, the threat of burn is a big deal, and its immunity in the second phase matters a lot. That's why it's higher than Kyogre. This boss is pretty fun though, so it does well there. Number 2, Darkrai. Darkrai has Phantom Force to reposition itself. You and your Pokemon will have enough time to dodge the shadow that indicates it, but the repositioning can dodge some moves if you time them wrong. It has Snarl, which has moderate range and lowers the special attack of Pokemon hit by it. It also has Future Sight for fighting and poison coverage, summoning a big psychic field that will drop numerous projectiles down after enough time. You and your Pokemon can move out of the way, or you can put your Pokemon in their ball. Either way, make sure to do so, as Future Sight does damage over time if you're in that area for a while. It has Brutal Swing too, which will hit everything that's close to it. Make sure to keep your distance from Darkrai itself when you can safely do so. Its charge attack will have Darkrai go to the center of the arena and fire mini Dark Orbs randomly throughout it, with Darkrai protecting itself with a Dark Field, and the Dark Orbs creating explosions that last for a bit. If your Pokemon are hit by this, they'll be drowsy, which not only makes cooldowns on their moves longer, but this particular drowsiness is special, putting your Pokemon on a timer like Burn and Poison do, but unlike them, any and all Pokemon can be affected by this, so do not have them out when this attack is going on. It's GG's for them if they get hit by it. The first phase isn't too bad, but getting caught off guard by a Future Sight or a Dark Orb can do great damage to your Pokemon or just straight up end the fight. As for the second phase, Mega Darkrai improves Future Sight massively, as it's nearly arena-wide. It gets Shadow Ball as an actual ranged option now, and it's fast, so roll as soon as it spawns. Snarl and Brutal Swing get bigger as well. Its charge attack from the first phase is a lot bigger, with the field expanding as it goes on, limiting your space and making the Dark Orbs more threatening. Again, don't have your Pokemon out. Its other and new charge attack will have it go to a wall of the arena, and summon 5 clones that have their own health bars, albeit way smaller like Mega Bayonet's clones. After they charge up, which takes some time, all of them create a shockwave, which does damage over time. If all of them are alive, the only safe spot is the middle of the arena. They will also fire Dark Orbs that do fatal damage to anything they hit. If you have to deal with this, I recommend going to one of the Mega Darkrai's, spamming your roll and praying, as that section won't be hit by anything and they drop a little Mega Power. So make sure to save plus moves or a Mega Evolution for this attack. I really like the sleep putting your Pokemon on a timer. It's very unique. The fight itself can be pretty difficult due to that, yeah, but also many of Darkrai's attacks are very big and incentivize you to keep your Pokemon safe, making the fight last longer, especially in the second phase. Number 1, Rayquaza. Rayquaza has Outrage as a big damage melee attack. Make sure to stay away. It has Hyper Voice as a moderate range move. Again, make sure to stay away, but the range can be deceptive. And it has Meteor Beam as a ranged option, and for Ice, Fire, Flying, and Bug coverage it didn't have before. Rayquaza's special attack gets boosted, and it'll fire this Quick Beam twice, one at a time. It can be pretty deadly if it hits something. Make sure to roll when the beam starts being fired at you. Its charge attack will have Rayquaza go to the center of the arena, summon a bunch of tornadoes throughout it. The white tornadoes will pull you away from them, and the gray ones pull you towards them, while meteors strike the ground for the attack's duration. This move can be hard to dodge, as the tornadoes can make it harder to run away or easier to run into a meteor, and these meteors hurt. The tornadoes can also do damage, but it's nothing to worry about. Roll if needed as always, and keep your Pokemon in their ball. The first phase is difficult, the hardest first phase of these bosses up here, but ultimately nothing too different from those below it. Like Groudon and Kyogre, it becomes a bigger target when it Mega Evolves into the second phase. Mega Rayquaza has the ability Delta Stream, which removes its weaknesses of being a flying type. Ice just deals double damage, although it's still very good here. Rock becomes neutral, and it resists electric moves. Every move from phase 1 is bigger and deadlier, so you'll have to be more careful and time your openings better. Hyper Voice gets the biggest boost out of all three, receiving a massive range boost. Your Pokemon will get damage here unless you bait this move out, and since it hurts a lot over time, I would even recommend putting your Pokemon in their ball if you really have to. Its charge attack from the first phase will have the tornadoes be more effective at pulling you towards or away from them. Use them to your advantage if you can, and roll away if necessary. Its new charge attack has Mega Rayquaza go to the center of the arena, fly into the air where it can't be damaged, and summon a tornado that'll pull everything to the center. This tornado thankfully doesn't do damage, and you can lock on it to dissipate it. After enough time, regardless of the status the tornado is in, Mega Rayquaza will crash down and do fatal damage. If the tornado is not damaged, the attack will be arena-wide, but if it's dissipated, the attack has moderate range around the center. Both do fatal damage regardless of status, so damage the tornado enough with plus moves or your Mega Evolutions, and roll for iframes if needed. While this boss doesn't have any moves that put a timer on your Pokemon, thank god it doesn't, the fight's length and difficulty, thanks to high damage and multiple ranged attacks, is enough to make it the clear number 1 in difficulty in my eyes. Hyper Voice in the second phase, however, is on that weird borderline of being fun to deal with, as this move is very big, deceptively so, and it hurts a good amount, making it feel very bad to get hit by it over the course of the fight, bumping it down in quality. Everything else about it is pretty fun though. Do you want to know the hardest boss I've ever fought in my life? I've never beaten it, and I haven't even gotten close. This boss is the one and only number 0 I will ever have in a boss ranking. Its name is one that brings primal fear in my soul. Number 0, Charmander. Charmander has Slash, a melee move. It's technically easy to dodge, but is very deadly if it hits. Flamethrower is a moderately ranged move that can burn your non-fire types. While you can go far away to dodge it, this just delays the inevitable. Flare Blitz has Charmander engulf itself in flame and rush towards its target. This again has the chance of burning your non-fire types. Fire Spin creates a fire zone on top of you or your Pokemon, doing damage over time and threatening burn. It has Thunder Punch for water and flying coverage, so trying to use them is futile. It also has Dragon Rush, a very fast direct attack. You can roll out of the way, but the timing is pretty tight. However, there is one reason why you can't beat this boss. While you can have your Pokemon out, they will be incapable of using any moves, so you can't attack it. Sometimes there can even be 2 Charmanders, hell, even Alphas. Why? I don't know. Charmander has no charge attacks, but I don't know that since I haven't gotten far enough to see any. Charmander is the most terrifying boss fight I've ever had to deal with. Even scarier than Omega from Mega Man ZX, and it's the only one I can say is truly impossible. Thank you for watching. This was really fun to work on, and it was fun changing up the boss ranking format a bit. I'm not sure what my next video will be. I'm working on the Las Vegas Regionals video still, and it's not done yet due to Capcut lag, which made this video take a while, so that's not something I'm too concrete on yet. Here's the boss ranking for difficulty, and here's the one for quality. Pause if you want to look. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you have a good day, and I'll hopefully see you again soon.